Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your Washington Commanders update, and I am your host, Seawall, checking in as I do each and every single week to give you the latest and greatest information on the Washington Commanders. I'll give you all a minute to join on in the live discussion because, of course, as always, we have so much to discuss when it comes to the Washington Commanders. And yes, I am literally just getting back in town from LA. Yep, from the Rams game. Um, if you think I look tired, it's because I am. While I am refreshed and relaxed because I decided to extend my own bye week and then go to LA a bit early, it still is a lot of work that must be done. And so the work never really ever stops. But we are here to talk about the Commanders. We have to get into a couple of the housekeeping items. This is a live Bowie television recording. Everything we say and do here just may pop up on your television screens each and every single day. Verizon Channel 11, Comcast Xfinity Channel 77 from 1:30 to 2:30, and on the weekends during the noon hour. If you are watching the stream through Facebook, hit that love button. Please be sure to share this show with your Washington Commanders loving family and friends. If you are watching the stream from YouTube, hello to you as well. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, hit the bell, subscribe, all of that good stuff so that you can keep up whenever the page goes live. Also, if you are a YouTuber, make sure you are subscribed to Bowie TV at BCMC Maryland TV on YouTube, where we not only have our Commanders content, but we also cover up the Beltway, the Baltimore Ravens, and we have just a slew of other content, HBCU athletics, all types of TV shows that we share the YouTube versions of those as well. So you can get a dose of all types of great and awesome content on that page. So I see folks are chiming in, and while you're chiming in, you have to say hello to the king and queen himself, herself, Mama Waller, Papa Waller. When I got in from the airport, I had to make sure I stopped by to see Papa Waller. So I saw him today, everybody. So love button fire emoji for Papa Waller. Love button fire emoji for Mama Waller. Mama Waller will be in town. So when we do the weekly DMV Sports Update later in the week, she'll actually be in the real studio. Okay, she will be in the building. She'll still be online because she likes to play the background. You know her, but she will be on the line from Seawall Studios and Bowie TV as well. She'll probably get by the station as well. So hey there to Kim. Hey there to DJ. Of course, Mama Waller is on. Cameron Mingo. Hello. So make sure you all share this show with your Washington Commanders loving family and friends. There's a lot to discuss because when is there not? There's always a lot to discuss, right? Like, have we ever, for what it's worth, do we have to bring this back? And this always says when is there a dull moment in DC sports, because that is true. That is always going to be true. Absolutely. And when it comes to the Washington Commanders, there's absolutely never, ever a dull moment at all. So listen, before we get into all of the things Washington Commanders, we're going to start from the top with something positive. Love button, fire emoji. I see Kim Perry has jumped on something positive. Oh, it's the holiday season, you all. It is the holiday season, and the Commanders were just getting back in town, and the Commanders Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, wide receiver Terry McLaurin, did his holiday event today. So just getting in town, we know that the team was coming back in bad weather, and Terry McLaurin still made it his business to make this holiday event. Check out some of the highlights here.
Can you all give a very happy and loud and warm welcome to Terry McLaurin from the Commanders.
What's up? I didn't see you guys. What's up? How y'all doing?
All right, Fieldship, we're going to go ahead and get started with our rotation. Terry, feel free to enjoy all the science.
What's up? We could be partners, Dennis. Have you done this before? No? All right, let's see. I like these ideas. These are good ideas, you guys.
Wow, what's happening?
That was perfect.
Hope you guys have a great rest of your school year. Hope you guys have fun with one another. And I'll see you guys soon. Go Commanders.
You know what? I had to share that first because I thought it was important. It was important. It was a very important point. And so we always have to definitely make sure we shout out the team when they're giving back to the community. Again, Terry McLaurin is the team's Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. So want to give him his flowers continuously for all that he does, not just for his team and his teammates, but what he does for the Washington metropolitan area community as well. Much appreciation to you, Terry McLaurin. All right, you all. Let's get into it. Y'all know I had to share all the positive stuff first. So we're going to go through and do what it is that we normally do. And that is start out with, you already know what it is. I started not to play this game anymore, but I said, no, this is still the regular season and we still need to play it. And that is, what's your one word? What is your one word to describe how you were feeling when the Commanders officially lost to the Los Angeles Rams? What is your one word? What's your one word? What's your one word? What's your one word? Let's see. I'm going to wait here until you all drop some one words because we still have to see some one words. Kim already dropped hers. She already has her one word. Dysfunctional. Dundee says consistency. Kim Perry says deja vu. James Roundtree says tanking. That's an interesting word to use because I know when people are tanking and then there's people that are just losing. Embarrassed. And Mama Wallace has in parentheses again. You know, I always see people use tanking. And I'm like, tanking, there's a difference between tanking and losing. Tanking is intentional. Losing is not. Because we're looking at a Washington Commanders team and leadership team that are making adjustments. They might be small, but adjustments nonetheless to the team, which would kind of, we're going to get into something that I like to call now. I posted on my page, we're going to play Clue. And it's called, we're going to call it Use Your Clues. Use Your Clues. And I want to call it Using Your Clues because we've seen some of this before. Right? And I always caution people from using the word tanking because it's the incorrect word to use when your team is just bad and you're just losing and you're doing things where you may think is the right, you actually believe what you're doing is the right thing to do. That's just losing. Now, tanking is when you are intentionally doing things to encourage draft position or not doing things in order to encourage draft position. For example, a good example of tanking would be, and we're going to get to this, if Sam Howell was taken out of the game because they thought they were going to win if he stayed in. That would be tanking. Like, wait, they're about to win. Take him out. That would be tanking. Tanking, example, would be keep Cameron Cheeseman. Keep him. Keep him around. Too bad. So sad. Tress got decked in the process. But this is going to help. Keep him in. Keep him on the roster. No need to get rid of the long snapper. At this point in the season, quite frankly, no need. No need. But if you were tanking, perhaps would be a good idea. Absolutely no reason to keep Emmanuel Forbes out. Absolutely zero reason to release Danny Johnson. We're watching leadership make decisions. While they may not be all that beneficial at this time, using our clues, if we weren't seeing things that conveyed that they're actually still trying to win a football game, or at least appear to be making changes or be competitive, then, well, first of all, we all know they're not tanking. They're just losing. The team is bad. And you really can't tank when you're just a bad team. That would, But I always want to ensure that people are educated on these topics, because this isn't necessarily about an opinion. Tanking is a strategy. And I've shared this on my show previously. Tanking is absolutely a strategy. It is a strategy that teams use to, like I said a moment ago, to encourage their draft position. That's absolutely what it is. So I always want to caution fans on saying, don't say you tank it, because that would convey that they're being smart about this. You making it seem like Ron Rivera is like, hey, I got a bright idea, and this is what I'm going to do. And that's not what's happening here. We've actually seen this current leadership do this exact same thing they're doing right now every year they've been there. Quite frankly. And I like this right here. And this is happening because the people that they want are currently unavailable. So I'm going to continue to educate, because I don't want y'all out here misspeaking and appearing to be uneducated on the topic, because this is important stuff. And you can't have who you want when they're still coaching. Just saying. So in the last 4 years, and I'm going to play Coach Rivera's after game press conference, we've seen love button or fire emoji, if you recall, in almost every year of Coach Rivera's tenure, there has been a conversation about the quarterback and whether or not he made a change at quarterback too late. Using our clues, almost every year, I'm going to say it again, there's been a conversation about whether or not Coach Rivera made a decision about making a change at quarterback too late. We saw it. May his soul continue to rest in peace. We saw it with Haskins and Heineke. We saw it with Carson Wentz and Taylor Heineke again. And we just saw it. Actually, in the last 2 weeks, we saw it. So using our clues does it every year. And it's always around the same time of year. Always. And last year, actually, there was a lot more on the line. Remember, the Commanders were still, well, no, by this week, they were out of it. Remember, they flexed the Giants game to Sunday Night Football, and then the following week, there was a change. Or was it the week after that? And then shortly thereafter, we know that Coach Rivera didn't remember that the Commanders were out of playoff contention. But when I say, and we talk things regarding tanking and all those things, you can't tank when you're using the same philosophy that you've done in the last 3 to 4 years that you've been here. We've seen Coach struggle with this topic. We've seen him. I just counted off three instances. It's the same exact thing. Now, here's what I can say. And this is what I want to encourage everyone to take a look at. Here's another truth for certain about what transpired during the LA Rams game. Charles Leno went out. Tyler Larsen went out. So Nick Gates come in at center. And I'm going to still get to Coach Rivera's press conference. Coach Rivera made a comment about protecting Sam. Put in Jacoby. Now, he put in Jacoby last week, too, or the week prior in the Dolphins game, before the bye. It was only like 4 minutes left in the game. Yesterday, 9 or so minutes left in the game. Push Jacoby in. Nick Gates has to come in. Okay. You did it against the Dolphins. Tyler Larsen was still in. Okay, the game was out of reach. Understood. Jacoby comes in behind Nick Gates, which I would say to anybody is dangerous. It is. So if you say I was protecting Sam, I understand that. Because everyone knows that Sam still has challenges with holding the football too long. And that is something that you do not want to do behind Nick Gates. It is what it is. Okay? Now, let me be clear. It doesn't mean that Jacoby was going to not get clocked, because Jacoby absolutely got clocked. He for sure did on that one touchdown pass to Terry. Here's where it went a little bit like, you're trying to win this football game. We went in, and here's the also thing. We went in, we're looking at now exactly what everybody else is watching on the screen. Sam did not look troubled. He didn't look disturbed. At least but he also, he was on the sideline. He was talking to Tyler Larsen. And let's be for real, love button fire emoji. Sam wasn't having a good game. It wasn't the play calls. He wasn't having a good game. Terry McLaurin was beating most of the DBs. There were some challenges all around. Jacoby comes in. We know he can operate at another level because of his veteran status, even though he's behind Nick Gates, and he's able to execute. immediately. Okay. And I'm like, we all know the syndrome, which is fair. The opposing team's defense thinks that you're waving the white flag. They think you're giving up. Hey, everybody been talking about slinging Sam Howell all season. He's gone out of the game with a little less than 10 minutes left. Here comes Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby's not scaring anybody. So, of course, you're going to see a more relaxed defense. But let's be for real about something. Let me know if you saw it as well. Jacoby came in and executed repeatedly. It wasn't too bad. It was quickly and made sudden moves, which appeared that they were trying to still show. Because here's the reality as well. People are trying to keep their jobs. And even if they're well aware that they may be out of this door, they want to be able to walk into another door. Nobody's going to cancel Christmas on their own career, standing on the hinges of Sam Howell's development. And that's real. Nobody's doing that. Why? For what? What would anybody gain from that? Quite frankly. And if there's a strong possibility that you won't be here next year, then why would you do it? To help who out? Exactly. You're trying to save yourself is what is happening here. And we're going to continue to use our clues. Now, we've used the quarterback clues because you've seen it. I just shared it with you all. Remember, every year we get to this part of the year and it's on Coach Rivera to make the decision on who stays under center. But you're not going to make me believe that there wasn't an attempt to try to win that football game yesterday. I mean, maybe it wasn't. Could have been an accident. But it sure did look like somebody who could come in and execute those plays to decrease the score. Or at least to showcase it's not the play call. You saw something. And drop in the chat what it is that you all felt like you saw. What is it that you saw from the offense? Now, there's definitely some questions that have come through to me. And I'm going to get to those in a moment. But I'm going to turn it over to the presser, which is about 4 minutes long. Because I want you all to listen to it. This is the after-game press conference. After the game, right? You all know I like after-game press conferences because that's the raw emotion. That's what you're going to get, okay? So take a listen, drop in the chat what you're thinking, and think about it from the perspective of, because here's the reality. I know this might sound like, who would want to hire anybody from the command? Plenty of people do. Plenty of people hire staff from the commander. Just because the team is bad does not mean the coaches are. Just saying, right? There's talent sprinkled around in there somewhere. For sure there is. But if you're on the outside looking in, if you're in the ownership group, because here's the other truth. They're not just going to clean house. They're not just going to everybody out. And new people all come in. It's going to be, changes made. But it's within reason. Within reason. Drop in the chat what you really think about what Coach Rivera is saying here. Because this is why I said, everybody use your clues. Because we go through this quarterback thing with Coach Rivera every year. Every single year. Check this out.
Is he still your starting quarterback?
Yes.
Why is that?
I just our starting quarterback.
Defense today, obviously the Rams have a good attack. What do you think of the group today?
Well, they did a nice job. I mean, they did some different things. They got some. We got a pretty dynamic guy up in front, and unfortunately, we struggled in the second quarter. And we got an opportunity. Get down to the red zone. You got to put the ball in the end zone.
And I know, like on the Cooper Cup play, it seemed like it was reminiscent of some things that happened in previous weeks. I mean, give us a feel for what went wrong on that play.
Just a lapse right there. Unfortunately, we had an opportunity, and we missed a coverage.
The last touchdown with Jacoby in there, the clock manager was kind of interesting, trying to go fast, and then it wasn't fast on the play clock. What was the thought process then?
The thought process was try to get the plays off as quick as we could. We still had 3 timeouts left, and we got ourselves into the situation we were looking to get into.
Any thought of going for 2 there?
Yes and no, but the biggest thing is, we just got to make the kick. I mean, that's hindsight at that point. But the attitude is, you score a touchdown, you kick the extra point, you keep your momentum. If you don't score when you go for it, that's a little bit of a momentum breaker.
The decision on Sam, was that you or Eric?
That was me again. Like I said, just wanted to take care of it.
Cheeseman, there was a snap that kind of went up.
That's not good enough. We're going to evaluate that.
Coach, we talk about protecting Sam. Is that kind of a game flow protection, or because you also lost some line in the game?
I think it's more of just a game flow. It's one of those things you get to this point, and when teams are just putting their ears back, it's and we got a lot of faith in Jacoby is for us.
And then Antonio Gibson's usage kind of declined as the game progressed. Any thoughts on that?
No, not necessarily. I think a lot of it just really who they call up in terms of opportunities.
Was he injured or was he available?
He was available.
When Jacoby came in, you guys did the ball pretty well. What did he give you specifically to help us find?
Well, a little bit of veteran stuff. You saw some of the decisions he made were very quick, and you got rid of the ball quick.
And then with the cover stuff, again, as you said, it's been a season-long thing. Is that just the communication, and why hasn't that improved maybe throughout the year?
Well, the hard part more than anything else is that, was an individual that didn't, for whatever reason, just didn't do what he needed to do.
Going back to Cheeseman, they said to evaluate, but with this being a change there?
Well, we're going to evaluate it before we make a decision.
Ron, with the 3 timeouts there, why do the onside kick when you could have pinned them and got the punt?
So we get a second chance, we get 2 chances at the ball. If you don't go onside, you just kick it deep and just pin them. You only would have only had 1 chance to get the ball. You go for the onside, you got 2 chances to get the ball. So if we onside, we had recovered it, then we've got the ball. If we kick it and we never get a chance to stop them, then we never get a chance at the ball.
Take 2 more.
With Sam, again, he struggled too. And what was going wrong for him?
Well, I think there were a couple things, and again, part as you look at it, we just got to make sure we're able to pick up, and then we'll go from there. Some of the decisions that we have to make, and in terms of he has to make as a quarterback.
The offense had a tougher go for the last 4 weeks. What can you guys do to improve that unit with Sam?
Well, we're just going to go ahead and evaluate it. We'll watch the tape first and foremost and just see. One thing that I thought we did pretty well at times is we ran the ball. When you can run the ball and you run it efficiently, it helps. It gives you an opportunity to do some different things.
Okay, last one. I'm good. Nikki?
Tyler Larson and Charles Leno both without with injuries. What's your expectation?
Charles, we'll have an assessment, and I think a little bit with Tyler was, he got a little sore, so we had to be smart about that, around on turf, and 4 quarters of that would have been rough on him.
All right, thanks, Coach.
So now we're going back to something that I'm going to start calling use your clues. Use your clues. All right? Use your clues. And I'm leaning back in my chair because it's like, let's all be for real. Okay. Can we be for real? Love button fire emoji if you want to be for real. Because who else saw the attempt to try to win the football game? I know I was there, and I couldn't have been the only person that saw it because I clearly saw it. I said, oh, I see what's happening here. Because at this point, it's week 15. And Jacoby Brissett brings his, like Coach Rivera said, his veteran presence. He's clearly been in the same playbook. They were making an attempt. Back to using your clues. We can probably pinpoint, going back to the quarterback scenarios. I listed out 3, including the one that I just mentioned. Coach Rivera typically didn't make a change until it was too late in the game. Or he made a change until it was too late in the season. Point is, this is what he does. So, my thing is, while you may not pay attention to what he says, you're still not using your clues, James Roundtree. Because if there's one clue I always say, is don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. And that's word to Rich Tandler. May he rest in peace. Because it don't matter what he said. We know that he made a decision to go with Jacoby. And we know that Jacoby came in there and made a last-minute attempt to try to win the football game. And you see things like that happen when someone's trying to save themselves. Even if they know he's not going to be here, like I said a moment ago, they still want it to look like I'm still a viable option to work in this league. You don't have to hire me. Hopefully somebody else will. Hopefully you'll know, see, the problem wasn't me. That's what I'm trying to help educate, because I see fans say things and it's like, come on, y'all. Do you really think these people are just going to ride out into the sunset on the hinges of somebody's development or on the hinges of seeing what we got next year or seeing what we could get in the draft when people get fired after games every week? No. And while I would like to sit here and think, hey, you probably got a whole lot of money. You don't need any more money. Guess what? They gonna still do what they can to show improve. I deserve a job. See, at this point, it ain't even about the Commanders. It's about who they are as individuals, as professionals. We're seeing a group, because here's the other truth. If you leave Sam in and he's having challenges, then what does that say for the work of your offensive coordinator? We've been hearing it all year. Is it EB? Is it Sam? Is it the offensive line? Nobody knows. Ain't nobody figure it out. It's a little bit of everything, right? What does that say for the running backs? What does that say for Curtis Samuel? We know he's going to be a free agent. What does that say for the other weapons that are like, we were all open, he didn't get us the football? People need film. You got to try to set people up for success. What does that say to a Jacoby Brissett? Who, hey, he got decked behind Nick Gates. I'm not giving anybody on the offensive line a pass, but let's be clear. If we're thinking about this objectively, your job, EB said it at the beginning of the season, every day we're competing for our job. Every day it's a now hiring sign on the front of the building. We all know they're not making the playoffs, but nobody cares today about a draft in April. Nobody cares right now about a draft in April. Guarantee you that. What they care about right now is I need a job. Somebody's got to pick me up. I either want these people to keep me or I want these people to come and pick me up. I want somebody to still call me and say, as soon as the season is over, I got you. That's what we're seeing here. Now, one could argue what would have happened if Coach would have made the decision at the top of the fourth quarter. We'll never know. He even fumbled a bit, no pun intended, on the question today when asked, hypothetical question, what if the playoffs were still in contention? What would you do? He couldn't answer it straight out. It's save yourself mode. That's what it is. Because film still got to go out. And if you are a hot running back, you believe you still got something in the tank as a tight end. If you still, you don't know if you want to stay or go as a wide receiver, you don't know on that offense, you don't know what your future is going to hold. So who's going to give us the best option? This ain't even about winning. I'm just trying to keep my job in the NFL. That's what we're seeing. That's what we saw yesterday for certain. Now, it'll be interesting going into the Jets game because now we got two teams and everybody's fighting for jobs. Everybody's fighting for jobs. All the players, the staff, you want to put out your best product. Even when the product looks bad, you will hopefully want to look good. And right about now, and again, this goes back to whose fault is it? Curtis Samuel's having a very good year. But can we say, who else can we, from an off, we already know the defense is not, no. Offensively, how many passes do you end up getting week 15? And you can only really say with confidence, you know, Curtis Samuel's had a really good year. He's having a really good year. You don't know. But again, this goes back to the late decision-making around quarterbacks placed on the shoulders of Ron Rivera that we've seen him do year after year. It's always in December when it's too late. What's done is done. And what I have shared since the spring, what has been shared, I told you all after Super Bowl week. And I'm going to keep telling you all. Love button fire emoji if you heard me say, hey, listen, y'all, I don't know if you heard what Sean Payton said, but Sean Payton said X, Y, and Z. Technically, you can't interview anybody and you can't bring anybody in until after the season is over for them. And that's even at the collegiate levels. So let me be very clear about something else. The football product is not the only thing that has not been touched until further notice. I hope you all understand what I'm saying here. So you're saying, okay, well, they tanking because they haven't made a change. Well, guess what? They haven't touched anything because they're waiting until the season is over to touch anything. This just is what it is. So I think what would be interesting is to see what does happen. Because we know that the chances are they're going to lose the rest of these games. It would be nice for them to beat the Jets. It would be good for them. But guess who else it would be good for? It would be good for the Jets as well, who were also eliminated over the weekend. It'd be good for them too. Everybody's got, and trying to prepare, weigh in on the hinges of development for a player that you won't even be there to coach. Ain't nobody doing that for real. I mean, in good faith, it would be nice. But in reality, saving yourself is always an option. Always, always, always. With that being said, let's go to a question that I got. I asked people, oh, you got questions for me? What's the questions you got? And Lamar Bland said, do you think the Commanders would have had a better, worse, same chance to win more games if they started Jacoby Brissett sooner? I will say this. I think it's probably about the same. I saw the attempt immediately yesterday. But I said at the beginning of the season that if there was a game that this team had to rely on the offense to win it all for them and to go down and make the game-winning play, that this team was going to be in trouble. I said that. They were going to be in trouble. If it was on the offense, this was not going to go well. That was one thing I said. Love button, fire emoji, if you remember me saying that. Second thing, I also said week one, if they played like they did week one, this was going to be a rough one. And I'm going to add a third one. It was going to have to be more on the defense. Making a change at quarterback sooner could have definitely, I know for yesterday, probably made a difference, because that's just the energy, right? That's just the energy. You change mid-game, the other team think they giving up. But I can't necessarily say the same for the rest of the season. Because of the defensive blunders. I mean, let's be for real. There was defensive blunders yesterday. But I think it would have still been more of the same. I do not think they would have been playoff bound. Like it's not a difference like that where it would be like, oh yeah, if they would have started Jacoby, they'd been made the playoff. No. Not with this defense, and not with just some of the things and how it went down. I don't think so. So I think it would be pretty similar. I think we may have seen a difference yesterday, but it's not a huge difference where it's like because the offensive line is still the offensive line. Everybody knows that Tyler Larsen performed much better than Nick Gates. So that was that's a key difference right there, as was the difference with Chris Paul and Sadiq Charles. Let's just call it what it is. It was a difference there as well. So those adjustments were made, and it looked good, but I think it's just the season is long. Sam has had some incredible stats. Let me be very clear. He's had some incredible stats, and I still feel very positively about Sam. But this team, this is a team that's just in shock. And I will say that a veteran presence like a Jacoby Brissett that has been around in our several locker rooms can help with that, and has helped with that, to just, potentially settle it a bit more. And that's what we saw on the field. But I'm not talking about a difference between playoffs and No. I think the team would still very much be in the same position that they are right now. Here we go. Throw the whole coaching staff away. How does it take you 3 minutes to score within the 5? How does it take you 3 minutes to score within the 5 in that situation? Why was Sam benched? How does that help long term? Again, I would going back to watching what they say, listen to what they say, watch what they do. If you're anticipating not being here, or if you already understand what's happening here, what difference does it make what the long term is? And I'm just being, I'm being real. If hey, I got to act now. Because in NFL, in NFL time period, you are in long term. Week 1 to week 15 is long term. So what we doing? I help everybody else out when I got to help myself at this point. Because this is the time of year it gets real. It gets really real. And here's the other thing. Because of these situations, here's the reality. You probably will see a better team. You probably will see better plays being made and things happening. I'm going to go back to Jacoby Brissett. He's been on journeyman status, kind of, sort of, right? He still wants an opportunity. He still wants a chance. So what is he going to do? Just not take it? He get an opportunity to get out there on the field. What you think he going to do? Nobody's going to sit around and be like, no, you know what? I'm not even going to play. I'm not even going to do that because, you know, we got to wait for the development and we're going to see these draft picks come April. We're going to see how the young guys want to come up. No. That's not what happens in real life. They want an opportunity to start immediately. And in NFL life, you in the long term. It's been 15 weeks. That's been a long time. And if you sit back, love button, fire emoji if you watch other teams play. As I tell people all of the time, if you only watch the Commanders and the teams they play on Sunday, that's not good enough. This is not. Not in really understanding where the game is going in the culture and what's happening here. Across the league, And we're seeing, barring injuries, because we know that injuries are a hard, difficult part of this game. And we know that injuries impact your roster and your gameplay. But we have seen teams deal with injuries and still they are playing for something. They are still trying to get in the Rams. And while people might say they 500, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs, guess what? Go and tell that to Sean McVay face. Because he is trying. They are trying. And they've dealt with injuries throughout the season. These teams, nobody else is like, forget it. Maybe that one day, think about it. People going to have time during that bye week to talk to their agents, talk to their families, and get really real about what their future looks like in current state. Here's your stats so far. Here's what's happening. Here's what the rumor mill is saying. Here's what we're sensing. You might want to do X, Y, and Z so that you got some good film. Because coaches have agents too, everybody. And so they need to be putting out their best effort and continuing to try to develop their players and making sure, they can really speak to the overall improvement of their position group. People are still trying. They still got to have a story to tell. They can't just say, well, we was just, waiting, trying to see how Sam was going to develop. And we was, and they told us we was tanking, they told us don't even win no more. So they said, we stopped. No, come on, y'all. Stop. These are people very real jobs and families to take care of. So I just say that, and it's making myself laugh because it's like, ain't nobody signing up for that in real life. Okay, everybody's feelings hurt. Everybody feels some type of way. You sad because you're losing. All right, you're gonna be really lost if you get released and you don't have anywhere to go. That's gonna be a real sad day. So do what you gotta do to make up for it. Are y'all feeling me? Are you feeling what I'm saying? Because here's the reality, y'all. It's 3 more games. OMG. 1, 2, 3. 3 more games. 3 more. 3. The Jets, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Dallas Cowboys. And let's just put it out there. You would hope and would have liked to have seen those last 2 games of the season to be like joyous occasions, right? The 49ers on New Year's Eve. Wow. The whiteout game, the Cowboys, January 7th, first Sunday of the year. Yes. That's going to be rough. Those are going to be rough. And if you are attending in person, shout out to the Commanders fans that travel to LA. Deep, deep, deep fan base presence out there in LA. So shout out to you all. But going to those last 2 home games of the season is going to be rough. It's already a lot of 49ers fans in the area. Oh, they're going to just look. And we already know the Cowboys fans in the area. We already know what the stadium is going to look like. Right? So, hey, I've been saying this for weeks. This is truly unfortunate. And did not see it coming. Did not see this coming. And it goes back to, I did not see it coming in this way. If somebody would have told me in August, by the end of the season, they would have traded Montez and Chase. They would have released Danny Johnson and Cameron Cheeseman all in week 15. The whole thing with Jack Del Rio is kind of like, all right, a little too late in my opinion, but Ron Rivera is going to be the defensive coordinator. When you really go down the list of the unfortunate things that have happened, and by the way, the team would only won 4 games, I'd have been like, kick rocks, but that's what happened. And it will be, the offseason is going to be very, very busy. Very busy offseason. And I'm cautious because I need to understand and know what the leadership team, I need to understand that, the true vision, and I'm a numbers person. So when I hear even, patience and even talking things about like rebuild and things like that, it becomes because at this point, I would hope even with a partial rebuild or what you feel like you can do, hey, can you at least win more than 4 games? What are we talking about here? We talking about no games? Or we talking about 3? We talking about 4? We talking about 5? Did you tell them they had to win at least 10? What is the number of wins? What you want to see? How do you want to see the plans working out? What is the culture? What is the mentality? If you already established, I want some goons on my squad. Hey, I want you to be good guys, but out there on Sunday, I want you to, whoever talking trash, talk it back, but talk it in that end zone. Talk it when you force that fumble. And then go out there and get those types of people. I want to know more about the vision and what they are trying to do. Because if you are watching these other teams play week after week, then I hope, and I saw some of the comments in the chat, that people can feel me when I say nobody else is talking this lay down mess. Nobody else is talking this, nobody else is doing that. You want to know why? Because that's loser talk. Losers talk like that. And maybe I'm just not used to talking like that because I'm not a loser. So I'm not with it. And it's like, hey, who cares about, I don't even care about the draft picks right now until you let me know who's picking them. Who picking the people? Because I can't even get excited about the draft picks if we're going to keep picking like we've been picking. So that's all I'm saying. Like, I can't be concerned about that because that's just not exciting to me right now. And while, sure, you can get excited about those things, we already know the team hasn't really had a true GM. And I see the count here, correct me if I'm wrong, but this team hasn't had a true GM structure since, I don't know, this is going to be his, I'm excited. I would like to think that having a team function like do structurally from a front office perspective should automatically yield better results. If that's the plan of the new ownership group, right? If that's the plan, great. I need to know who you're picking. Because you can give me the structure. Fine. Why not? But who's doing the picking? I need to know who the scout team is. You all heard me say this a couple of weeks ago. Whoever found, name your favorite players. We're going to do this exercise again. If you did the exercise already, do it again, please, for me. Drop in the chat who your favorite NFL players are. And whomever your favorite NFL players are, I need to find the scouts that found your favorite NFL players. And I want them on my staff. Or you at least need to tell me, how are you evaluating players? What is going into the process? I understand that's a bit of the secret sauce. So if you don't want to give me your secret sauce, that's fine. I'm going to hire you. I want you to come and work for me because I want you to come and do the best. DJ knows me. DJ Bland knows me in real life. DJ Bland, tell the people what I do. Tell the people what I do, inclusive of me talking to, building camaraderie with you, DJ. I only deal with the best in the business. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It is something that I take a lot of honor and pride and love and joy and enduring. It makes everything better. We're going to mentor and mentee, give back to the community. We're going to do all of those things. But right now, give me the best. I'm only connecting myself to the best. Only. And what else we doing here? What else are we doing here? Because we're going to mentor all day long. But I'm going to mentor you along with the best. We're going to mentor you. I don't need no raw talent. I want talent. Somebody drop in the chat. Talent. I don't want. Give them to me how they are. We're going to help them out. We're going to get them there. But I want Hall of Famers to come through here on my watch. I want award-winning players. I want highlight reels to happen. But you just got to, and yes, Isaac, absolutely, I believe so. Well, incorrect. It's Bruce Allen. It was Bruce. If we're being technical, you may not have liked him, but the last GM was Bruce Allen. Okay. So, we're just being technical about the role and a person that sat in the role. It's Bruce Allen. So this is it means something. It means something. I want to get who, if that's the role, I'm excited, but and here's the other thing. A lot of people were excited this year. And in the beginning of the season is always exciting. But at this point, I truly believe that there needs to be a posture from even the fan base that says, show me first. Show me. Show me. Show me. Prove it. All right. I'm listening to what you say, but I'm going to start watching what you do. I'm serious. You know? Because I don't think we talked about this before the bye. Rebuild. How long does it take? True rebuild, wipe everything out. And I don't think, and when I say things like this, I want you all to hear me when I'm saying this isn't just about the football side of the house. This is everything. If you notice, they haven't touched anything. People may have moved on to other positions, but nobody's gotten fired. Nobody's lost their jobs. Nothing has been touched. And that was the plan from the beginning. They bought the team less than a week before training camp started. They didn't touch anything. And technically, there's no point in touching anything because anybody that you would want is still in season. So even if they did do something, I guess technically Eric Bieniemy will be in charge, but I've seen many people say they don't want Eric Bieniemy to be in charge either. So what do? You just wait. You know? And I think that this goes back to my comment about talent, and finding those scouts that drafted and found your current favorite NFL players. I want the diamonds. I want the gems. It ain't have to go to the college football playoff. You might can give me a couple of those. That's cool. But I want the ones that's going to come in here and make a difference in my football game. Week 1. Absolutely by week 5. And you better be making an impact by week 8. It's not a hard concept, to be honest with you. If you're a numbers-driven person, if you're an analytics-driven person, I want to understand. It's real clear. If I say I want you to win 10 games this year, you can figure out which games those are, but you need to win at least 10 of them. Pick your poison on which one. But your people better be ready. Because then there's no question whether or not I'm going to make changes at the end of the season. You're already going to know I am. Because if I asked you and told you that your bar is 10 wins and you don't meet the bar, then you already know I'm going to make changes. Now, I'm not going to do it the Carolina Panthers way. We're not going to do that. But we're going to definitely make a change. Because I don't understand what happened here. And if that means I got to go through each game and each line of film and each play, that's what we'll do. Because that's what winners do. See, I have very low tolerance for tank talk when people are just losing. You can make a decision to tank, but that still takes a strategy effort as well. And actually very smart people to do. Very smart people to do. I want to put this question up here. Do they watch film? I'm going to say this. They tell us that they do. You be the judge based on your eye test if they do. But they say that they do. What'd they get rid of the long snapper for? Anyway, I had to throw that back in there because don't think I forgot. What did they get rid of him for now? He's been doing this all year. Been doing this since he got here, actually. What are you doing that for? Okay. Whatever you like. Listen, I hope you all have enjoyed your time here. We have spent a whole hour and some change together because, you know, this is a topic that I'm very passionate about. This is a topic that I continue to educate myself on all of the time, every single day. I don't know, John Thomas, if you watched the show after the Chicago Bears game, that Monday, if you didn't, go and check it out that Monday where I had a rant, borderline rant-ish about film, because I even went back and watched the film from last year's game and was able to detect and see that the Bears were running the same plays they did last year in that game, and that the difference from last year to this year was definitely the fact that the Bears actually had better personnel to execute this year than they did last year. That was really the only difference. Same exact plays. So I think I kind of, you know, I still kind of talked about film a little bit around that time of year, but after the trades and everything, I've just been kind of talking about, you know, what happened, what's been going on. But we talk a lot about film, whether or not we believe that people are watching. Love button, fire emoji if you learned something, if you enjoyed yourself. 3 more games, y'all. 3 more. 1, 2, 3. That's a lot. That is a lot. When you have the majority of the league that's still playing for something. And hey, listen, don't think that maybe the team isn't playing for something, but the individuals are. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Hope you all had some fun. If you were just joining toward the end, this is from the Coaching from the Couch series, your Washington Commanders update. I'm your host, Seawall. This was a live Bowie television recording. If you ever missed the show, or if you tag somebody, shared the show, they didn't watch it live, you can still share. You can always watch the replay. The replays are always online. You can catch all different types of episodes all during the week on Bowie Television, Verizon Channel 11, Comcast Xfinity Channel 77, 1:30 to 2:30, and on the weekends during the noon hour. You all, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoy talking about this topic as much as I do. You all listen, be well, be safe. I will be doing a live for the weekly DMV Sports Update. Remember, I told you all, spoiler alert, Mama Waller will be in town. So she'll be in the Seawall Studios, Bowie TV Studios, checking her daughter out. And you all, next Monday, no show. I am traveling to MetLife Stadium for the Commanders taking on the Jets, the last road game of the season. Y'all would be shocked how tiresome this is, or maybe you all wouldn't be shocked. But thank you all for hanging out as always. I appreciate you all so much. No show next Monday because it is Christmas. So get all that holiday shopping in. And guess what? I'll talk to you all again soon on Thursday. See you then.